this new palpable, inspiring energy will start to settle into your bones. So instead of being driven by anxiety, or instead of being completely overwhelmed and driven by passion, we can be dragged by that horse just as much as we can by anxiety. Instead, we allow this energy to settle into our body. Listen, brother, you have got to get back into nature, especially when things are getting hard, especially when you feel like you don't have the time. I know there's money to be made, there are things to be done, relationships need tended to, healing needs to happen. There are laundry lists of things that you could be doing and need to do. But to be driven by the anxious fear that we get sometimes when things aren't going our way, or we have this sensation that we need to rush to get things done, that's when we need to retreat back into the woods. And if I were to give, a flat across the board prescription, I would say 60 minutes sitting alone in stillness. What happens for me when I do this is at about 20 minutes, the energy that has been swirling in my head, because quite honestly, we tend to live in our thoughts most of our day and completely removed from our bodies. When we are in the woods, when I am in the woods for 20 minutes, that energy that's swirling in my mind settles down into my body. So I start to feel like myself again versus this brain that is overworking. And that energy, when it's in our body, is more, in my opinion, is more in touch with our intuitive knowing. So instead of trying to solve these problems from a state of crisis, when we drop into our bodies, we have more of a gut knowing of what needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done. So we can look at that list and be more articulate in what actually needs to happen and how it needs to be done. Now, if we sit another 20 minutes, so the first 20 minutes is really just about letting your body settle. The second 20 minutes, what starts to happen to me when I'm in my body and I'm sold that I'm going to sit here, so I'm not getting anxious like, man, I need to be leaving, I need to be doing something else, all this other stuff needs to be done. When that goes away, what starts to happen is colors start to get a little bit brighter. I start to notice more sensation in my body, and I also feel connected more to the things around me. So there is less separation between me and Mother Nature. And in reality, I think this also gives us another place from which we can start to make more impactful decisions in our lives. More clarity comes. So for 20 minutes, I'm settling. For 20 minutes, this inspiration starts to grow. And I'm not telling you to have any type of focus in this sit, but I'm saying this is what tends to happen for me. You don't need to go out there and say, okay, for 20 minutes, I'm going to try to relax. And then 20 minutes, I'm going to try to become inspired, because this will naturally happen if you just choose to sit still next to a beautiful lake, or next to a big tree with giant roots, or just anywhere you can get outside and be alone. And then in the last 20 minutes or so, if you're sitting for an hour, completely overwhelmed and driven by passion, which can happen, we can be dragged by that horse just as much as we can by anxiety. Instead, we allow this energy to settle into our body. And at about that 60-minute point, you can feel a buzz in your body and a connection to truth, like what really needs to be done. Do I really need to rush to get these emails sent out, or is there a way that I could better spend my time? Do I really need to say that thing that I thought I needed to say to my partner or my friend or my relative, or could I say this or say nothing at all? This type of clarity starts to overcome you if you just choose to go out and be alone and be still for 60 minutes. I'd love to hear if you actually give this a shot and what your results are. Again, my biggest urgency here is that urgency, what a terrible word to use when I'm trying to make a video about slowing down. What I really want to emphasize here is the stillness piece. You don't have to be chill. You don't have to be calm and meditating, but to sit still, not tapping your foot, not moving around from place to place, not walking through the woods, but literally sitting in a seat When I do this, the most I'll let myself do most often is to look around. So I'll allow myself to just slowly look if I want to, if I hear a sound and want to check it out. But I don't move from that seat for 60 minutes. Set a timer, put my phone in airplane mode, and just chill. I'm telling you, it's a strange occurrence that'll happen if you're there for 60 minutes or more. Take care, guys. I hope this is helpful. I'll talk to you next time.